could turn on captions for the recording?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
It's 7:30 in the morning. Why are you doing this to me?
I got bacon and eggs on the mind. Well, toast and eggs, I guess. You know?
You had me get up so early on a Saturday just to do this to me.
Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
I'm insanely proud of myself. I really am.
Well, at least somebody is.
Ouch. Listen,
Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. You can never have too much of it. We're your hosts. I'm Connor O'Connor.
man, I was gonna come up with a good pun, but I couldn't think while you were talking.
It looks like you have Steve Buscemi's eyes right now.
I'm Eggs Benedict, the famous actor from the Sherlock TV show. It's me.
Eggs Benedict Arnold.
Eggs Benedict. That's me. You can't see my hand, but I'm saluting you at your service. Is what I was gonna say. You know what? I just want to die. Let's move on.
Oh, and now you're on a space station. Okay.
Yeah, of course I am.
What was that bad space show that you tried to get me to watch while we were in college?
Bad space show?
Was it,
I don't think
or
there
was
is
that
bad.
Teddy? I think Teddy tried to get me to watch it.
Firefly?
No, Firefly was good.
Right. You have weird taste in things, though. I
Like
think.
The Outpost or something like that.
What was
I don't
bad
know.
about it?
Just the writing, the concept, all of it. But
There.
like, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, so it got like 5 seasons.
Yeah, the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah, that'll get the worst show on the entire planet will get like 30 seasons.
Well, because they just need programming.
Yeah, for sure.
There's only so many old episodes of The Twilight Zone that we can watch.
I could rewatch the old episodes of the Twilight Zone forever.
For sure, but then it just becomes the Twilight Zone network. You know, like how MTV is technically just ridiculousness now?
Yeah.
Or how they played every single episode of Teen Titans Go for like, I think 2.5 weeks straight leading up to their 400th episode on Cartoon Network.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That show is terrible.
Yeah. It's ridiculous that it's gone on longer than any other animated DC show.
But
It literally spat in the face of the Teen Titans and Young Justice.
which is stupid because those are actually good shows. Get out of here. Not you.
Orange juice?
No, it's vodka. Yeah, it's orange juice. What does it look like?
Well, it's not as orange as I wanted it to be.
So my lighting is all weird. Like since the new update,
Yeah.
I look like a zombie. But my lighting is weird too. I look paler than I usually do, and that makes it worse.
I think the vampirism has finally gotten to you.
Probably. No, like I don't know what this update did, but I even tried to mess around with the lighting settings, and I just look way paler, and so does my orange.
It looks sort of like lime juice.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. Google Meets, maybe don't update your stuff and screw it all up. I don't know.
No, we pay them. Actually, yeah, we pay you guys. Why are you messing with our stuff?
You know what? Update and change is good. I just don't like it. I shut up.
You know who else doesn't like change?
I totally had like an entire I had a topic and a garlic spotlight today, and I forgot both of them. I slept in. So I work right now I work 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. That is my shift for the weekends, right? And so I did that last night, and we got home and went straight to bed, but slept until noon. Who the heck sleeps till noon? Psychopaths. But yeah, now I'm all frazzled.
Yeah, I've been up since 7 because we were supposed to record earlier this morning.
Yeah. And I don't know why my alarm didn't go off.
It's okay. We're recorded now.
I didn't have a notification for a missed alarm on my phone, so I must have, in my stupor,
Turned it
woken
off.
up and turned it off. I don't remember doing it. I do remember at one point this morning my dog was howling. Sam has never howled in his entire life. I've had him since he was 3 months old. He was a puppy, and he has never howled once. We've tried to get him to howl. He did not howl. And we always grew up in Grove City. We had sirens, like
Right.
a half a mile, less than right down the street. Sirens, and they were very loud. They were like those emergency sirens. And now where we're living, there's a siren as well. It's a little farther away. But he was howling at it this morning. I was like, "What are you doing, bud? This is not something that we do. So maybe don't."
I know dogs can sense tragedy, so maybe something bad was gonna happen, and he needed to make sure you guys knew about it.
Maybe. Who knows? I think a factor played into it. He was also locked out of the bedroom.
Oh, see, all right. Well, he was just sad.
Yeah, that's also possible. He has like, it's not an ear infection because I've looked at his ears and there's no sign of like inflammation or anything. But he's got an itch essentially that won't go away in his ear, and he keeps shaking his head, and it's shaking his collar, and it's really loud and annoying. So if I get fed up with it because he's keeping me awake, I lock him out of the bedroom.
Have you tried using more cowbell?
No, that would actually make things worse, I think.
Well, like if he has a fever, then the only prescription is more cowbell.
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying to me right now.
It's a famous sketch from Saturday Night Live where
Gotcha.
The premise of it is there's this one song that you could hear the cowbell on, and they're like, what if the guy who's playing the cowbell was like really going for it compared to like the other musicians, and like the producer keeps like asking for more and more cowbell. And it's played by Christopher Walken. I don't know where I got Michael from.
I don't either.
My eye just started really hurting, and I think that affected my brain.
Yeah.
But Christopher Walken is like, listen, guys, I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. And it's Will Ferrell, and he has this shirt on that's a little too tight, and so like his tummy's coming out, and he's just whacking on a cowbell like this. I'd show you, but NBC would get mad at us
Again.
So it turns out Connor doesn't understand copyright law after not studying it ever.
After not doing any work to actually understand it, Connor doesn't understand it. What the heck?
I figured if we were transforming it into something new and like reacting to it, that was like creative license to use it. But I guess we didn't do that right. And it's fair,
right.
You know? It's their stuff. I'm not going to get mad at them for yelling at it. But NBC got mad at us. And so if you watch the video of last week's episode, there were some portions of it taken out. Pretty early in the video.
Yeah. It hurts, you know? It hurts. I'm just trying to be I don't even know. I don't want to say famous. I don't want to be famous, but like, I'm just trying to be an influencer. I'm trying to influence the modern age, right? Can't do that if everybody's up my butt about every single thing that I use. Stop sniffing the Vapo Rub.
You don't even know what I was doing. You have no proof. I even have vapor rub.
You just held it up, and you're on camera, so screw you. It's on camera. It's on camera. You can't get rid of it. It's on camera. It was already on camera.
There wasn't on camera. There was no camera.
I'm editing this week's episode. I'm gonna circle it. I'm gonna circle it. So I'm not editing this week's episode. I do gotta work. What was I gonna say? Man, I'm so freaking frazzled right now.
Do you want to talk about the biggest announcement of the week?
I know. Absolutely. Thank you.
The Switch 2 was announced this week.
Oh, that was gonna be my topic.
Crazy, right?
Thank you for bringing that up because it's time for rant o'clock.
Are we ranting about why games have gone up $20 to $30 on a new console after they were already incredibly expensive?
We're ranting, yes. I mean, yes, because the price point for the Switch 2 is pretty basic at this point. Like that's what most consoles are going to be. Yes, it's a bit smaller. Yes, it maybe doesn't run as good as well as the modern consoles. And I'm aware that this one runs a bit better. Docked, it's like it can run on 4K and all that. So like I don't know about the actual processing speeds, but it's supposed to be a lot better. They're updating a lot of the old games, right? To run nicer, smoother, better stuff.
Faster, stronger. Not that can't kill me. You can only make me stronger.
Yeah. But why are they $80? That I understand inflation. I do, kind of. This is ridiculous. This is getting out of hand.
Also, I'd just like to point out it was $80 before the tariffs were announced. So who knows actually how much it's going to cost?
Yeah, right. That's very true. I don't know. That's just. I mean, it's going to be $80 digitally, regardless of the tariffs, I assume. But the physical copies, yeah, those could go up. I could see it going up.
But then, like, what they're also doing is they're phasing out the idea of physical copies.
Yeah.
By like giving you a download key, basically, that kind of looks like a physical copy, but isn't one, that makes you download the game, and you only need internet connected the first time you download it. But I think you also need a Nintendo account, and so like you have to sign in and like basically join Nintendo to do this, and it's like, why are you forcing more steps to happen for people to play your game?
Yeah,
like there are so many. It's so infuriating nowadays when like things are changed and like made more difficult, because they're like, oh well, you know, people are still gonna buy it, and so like we can do whatever we want because we still either have one loyal fan base or like people are gonna not care enough to fight back against it.
Right. Listen, at this point, I'm not gonna buy anything that's not on sale. Like the system, sure, I might buy it. Because that's not going to change. The price may go down slightly, but not much, if anything. But I'm not going to buy a single game that's not on sale. I will let it sit there and rot and collect dust before I buy an $80 to $90 game. And I understand that's kind of where the direction things are going, but I don't have that kind of money. I never will. I don't think I ever will be able to just. And there's a difference, a huge difference between getting a base game for $80 and splurging and getting like the digital deluxe edition or something for $80. You know what I mean? Like you're getting so much more content for the same price. So like, yeah, I sometimes spend $80 to get the digital deluxe version, stuff like that. I do not spend it for the base game.
When I bought Pokemon Shield for my game, because we bought Sword together, and then we had joint custody of it because we were sharing the Switch at college in the dorm room. Well, when you went home, you were the only one with a Switch. I didn't have one yet, so you took it over. And like, that's cool. That was yours. Well, when I bought Shield so that we could trade and actually like complete the Pokedex and do everything cutesy like that. But that was when the DLC was already out,
Yeah.
which was $30 itself, and the game was $60. So when I bought it, it was only like 90. It was like $80 maybe. But that was
Right.
getting a full complete game and the digital download of the DLC. And so like if it's 100 hours for the base game, 50 for the DLC, I'm getting 150 hours worth of stuff for $80, and that's worth it. And so like sure, games are getting bigger, more open world. The new Mario Kart World or whatever is supposed to be expansive and huge and everything like that, but also like Mario Kart is supposed to be a game that like brings people in and like is easy and simple for them to join into. And so if your simple, hey, for idiots only game, like to get people started in your franchises and in your system, excuse me, is wildly expensive, they're not going to go into the Duskborn or whatever like Metroid 4 remake that are happening, because like they're not going to see it as worth it, because those are more prestige games. They might be priced higher.
I just think as gamers, as people, just people, maybe we should have a modicum of pride, a tiny bit of pride, enough to maybe bite back instead of like, listen, as a company, I can understand the desire to change prices to make a better profit. However, you are a like $1 trillion company. You know what I mean? Like, this is Nintendo. They're huge. They have, not only do they have the video games, they have every movie, Pokemon cards. Like they are so dang expansive in their endeavors that it's not like they're hurting for money, right? Like, do you really need the extra $20 per game? I remember as a kid, games were like $20. Like, I could go to Walmart and get a game for $20, and my mom would be like, "Yeah, I'll buy that for you. It's $20."
Right.
Imagine going up to your parent today, "Hey, Mom, I'd like to buy a new game. Could you buy it for me? Because I'm a kid and I don't have a job or money." This is what video games are geared towards quite often, is kids. And the mom says, "You know what? Yeah, you've been good. I'll buy you a game. How much is it?" Well, if we want to go to the store right now, it'll be about $90. I would die. I would be murdered. My mom is not a murdering person. She would kill me.
Oh yeah.
Like, it would be an absolute no. We are phasing children out of video games. Children, I guess, without rich parents. we should clarify that, because there are rich parents that are going to buy their kids games no matter the price.
The good news, though, is that does allow for something else to take over.
What's that?
And that is the board game market.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of like simple family style fun card games and other like board games available at like your local game shop, as well as like Target and Barnes and Noble and things like that. Like, if you want to go support $1 billion business as well, that can like be bought for 50 and under. Like, I think like the most expensive one that I've ever looked into, like actually considering buying, was Settlers of Catan, and I think it was $59.
Yeah.
And the great thing is about those games, you can play them over and over again, and it's just as fun. Granted, you have to be in the same place, and that's difficult. And I think what also is affecting like video game prices and everything are all these little shoot 'em up games that are for free.
All
and
these
then
what games?
all your little shoot 'em up games like Fortnite and Modern Warfare and the other ones that I can't think of right now
I don't
because
think Modern Warfare is free, but
you know what I'm talking about. The Call
Yeah.
of Duty one where you're all in a lot. All of the Fortnite remakes that have come out, those are affecting the video game market because they're free to play, free to download, but then you pay money to upgrade yourself and get new skins.
yeah.
And like, oh, for the base game, it's free. I don't need to pay anything.
Mhm.
Parents are more likely to just let you play that than anything.
Yeah,
And then you have games like Minecraft. It's maybe $5 to get Minecraft, right?
I think it's 20.
20? Still.
Still way cheaper.
And so those are the games that have become popular and the ones that people are going to keep playing. Or you got to take out a second mortgage, it seems like.
Yeah, for real. I actually was talking to Mia today. I think I'm gonna have to get a second part-time job.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We have been struggling financially. And I mean, this might be a small ploy to get people to actually support our Patreon at patreon.com/atthegarlicboys. But it's really not. We've been struggling a bit financially, right? So the possibility of me getting a second job is on the horizon. If I can make it a month, my job will allow me to take on overtime because I need to be out of my probationary period. Excuse me, to really take on over, which is understandable. But man, making it that month, that's going to be crazy because I have $50 to last me for the next week and a half. Well, still week and a half.
Yeah.
Which is insane that somebody would have to last on $50. What if I have a bill payment? I'm going to be screwed. Or they're
I
just
feel
gonna
that.
pick it up and not take my.
We, Autumn and I have decided to start doing food deliveries as a way. Not only to just like help make things meet, but also like to get some money for the wedding and everything like that, and start saving up in that sense. And it's difficult. I think it's a little more difficult for her because she drives. I sit there and hold the food, so I'm not going to say like, oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because I'm just basically sitting in the car for 5 hours after we go out, and she's one doing all the work and driving and everything. But like, granted, she likes to drive and I don't, and I've offered and she doesn't want to, and all of that stuff. So before you come at me for making her drive, internet folk,
Get in your place.
she likes it. Okay.
Can I switch subjects real quickly before I forget again? Listen. Okay. If you are two young students, this is a drastic change to the conversation.
Okay.
So listeners, be prepared. Connor, I don't care. If you are two young, barely adults, right? And you are looking to get it on, right? Just a little switch
I'm
pace.
sorry.
I was thinking about my job, and I was thinking about things that are going on in my job. If you are two young, barely adults looking to get things on, right? And the adults, you know what I mean. The kids, I hope you don't know it. Maybe the chapel isn't the right place to do it. It's very possible that is probably the worst place that you could do it. Just a thought here.
You're kidding.
No, 3 times. 3 times we have caught this happening. 3 times since I've started. I'm sure there's more before that. But like one instance was with 2 male students. The instance we caught last night was with a male and a female. Wild. It's a public place. Like any student, while it's open, could come in there, could just walk in the doors, and
I mean, they were.
This place is wild. It's wild, man. I like this job. I really do. But just like the little things, like why the chapel? Like I know that theoretically, like from a religious standpoint, right? God is everywhere all at once. So it doesn't matter where you're doing it. He's standing right there watching you.
It comes back to the idea of the temple, though, and the holiest of holies.
Right. Like this
And
is,
like,
this is the area that the Lord is going on here. That like the Lord is supposed to be like right there, like closest to you kind of thing. Like it's why go to your car. I don't know. Like this is so weird.
Yeah, but then you would have had to find them in their car. Like what
That's
is weirder
better.
to
That's
you?
better.
That's better for you?
In my opinion, I would much rather not be going through the sacred temple of the Lord Jesus Christ and find people getting it on than to find them in their car in some random area.
And I'm not defending their actions. I want to say that right now. But on them, it's actually better if they don't do it in their car, because I think you can get a public display, like a public indecency charge in your car.
Yep.
But in a building, it's like, hey, I was in a building, dude. Like,
I think technically you can still get it in a building too, depending on the building. But regardless, I see what you're saying. Yes, maybe do it in a bedroom, like where it's supposed to happen.
we have sheets down for a reason. I think the school you work for, though, has like no opposite gender in the dorm.
So it used to be that way. It used to be, I think if you had a person of the opposite gender in your room, you would have to have some, like the door would have to be open, right? You'd have to have a shoe in the door at least, so, you know, some crack open. So that was the case, and then there was like a very strict, like they have to be out at a certain. It has since laxed quite a bit. I'm pretty sure, like it's not supposed to happen, but unless the RAs catch it, we're not gonna get a call about it. But we've been like going around the guys' dorms and found a female vehicle outside one of the guys' dorms. We've been doing the same thing outside of the women's dorms. We found a male's vehicle outside of it. So pretty sure it still happens, right? Like it's there's no way around it. Unless we
tell it was
every room.
Could you tell it was a female's vehicle because it had eyelashes?
No, because it was registered to a female student. Yeah.
But you know, like in how cartoons and stuff, it's like, oh, here's the male, and it looks like this, and then the female version just has like eyelashes and a little bit of like a redder lip.
The male car tends to be a bit boxier. The female car tends to be like sleeker and round. Yeah.
I was like, ooh, look at that bumper on her. Okay, let's talk about this. The Cars universe.
Okay.
This is something I didn't realize until way later in my life, and it's kind of embarrassing. Sally has a bumper sticker.
Yeah. Tramp stamp.
Right, and it's a tramp stamp. What do you think, what qualities makes a car attractive to another car? Because like
I don't know. The
like,
tailpipe.
Lightning McQueen is a race car, so like he's athletic. And so like maybe that's why he's seen as hot, and like he's not super charismatic as first. And like Sally is a Porsche. So is that why she's hot? Is because like she's a younger, newer model of car compared to like Lizzie, who was a Model T?
Right. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not a car, so I can't tell you how to be attracted to cars, buddy.
Right, but then you have like Flo and Ramon, who are two different types of cars, but they're able to be together.
Right.
And then like Minnie and Van, they're both vans.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be the same type of car to get it on and make little baby cars.
What I think is irresponsible of this universe is that like we see car kids, but I'm not saying we need to see like the act happen.
Right. But we don't.
Like,
We also don't
that's
see pregnant cars. How do
we don't see pregnant cars. Like, do they fall out of the trunk?
Right. Like, does the trunk just pop open and some baby cars go flying out?
There's so many things that like they just don't answer in this universe, and like that's fine when we're talking about like Toy Story and like how we're like our toys given sentience as soon as they're made. They get their knowledge and everything right then. That like that's fine. I don't care. I don't care like what Kevin is from Up or why the house was able to float and like the physics of that. The Cars universe has the car Pope, like the Pope Mobile.
Right.
Which means that there had to be like, if we're setting it in our universe but with cars, if that's what we're doing, that means there had to be Carsades.
Yeah.
And with the Carsades, like, were they using swords? How are they holding the swords?
Right.
Because the only reason the only time we ever see somebody hold something is with oh, not Luigi, the other one. The like the Pete Stolp.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But he's able to hold it because he's a forklift, basically.
Yeah. Well, maybe all the Carsades soldiers were forklifts.
But here's the thing: we know that cars get more technologically advanced the younger they are, right? That's why Lizzie's a Model T. You have the van, that's the '60s van. That's like hippie. I can't remember his name right now. He's voiced by George Carlin. I know that much, but I can't remember his name. But like, he's a '60s style van, and then we get to like newer and newer vehicles. So are they chariots then that we're fighting?
I guess. Like, I mean, like carts. Like, I don't know, man.
And then, like, if they're carts, are they just powered by themselves, or are they drawn by horses? Right. And like, then I don't want to talk about animals because then you have the car bugs. But we need to focus on the horse. But we can't put the horse before the cart. The cart has to come first.
You know what, man? I don't know. All I know is that VeggieTales wouldn't let Jesus be a vegetable.
Nor could the vegetables experience the love of the Lord and his redemptive power.
Exactly. They couldn't get
because
into heaven.
Vegetables can't go to heaven.
All vegetables go to hell. That's a new movie we need to watch.
New from the makers of All Dogs Go to Heaven. All vegetables go to hell.
Oh, that could have some serious implications.
Vegetables aren't real, so if you look at most of the main characters on VeggieTales, they're all fruits. I know we've been over this, but like,
are asparagus vegetables?
Technically, no.
What are they?
I believe they're stalks.
Why are there so many vegetables that aren't vegetables?
I mean, it's technically a vegetable, but also I think it's a leaf. Yeah, it's a stem, and then the leaves are on the top of it. So,
what about celery?
Celery is also okay. So here's the thing that we're getting into is that the technically vegetable is a made up term, right?
Right. So is fish.
Right. They're very similar because a lot of vegetables are just like roots and stuff like that. Like broccoli is a flower or a leaf.
Right.
And like broccoli and spinach, I think, are more closely related than broccoli and cauliflower. Like, it's incredibly complicated.
Yeah. Right.
There was a Supreme Court case about this.
Are you serious? Did somebody actually take it to the Supreme?
The court ruled ultimately in Nix v. Hayden that a tomato is correctly identified in the text as a vegetable for the purpose of tariff on 1883 on imported produce. The court did acknowledge, however, that botanically speaking, a tomato is a fruit.
You know what's wild is you said 1883? Like, that's what the Supreme Court was talking about back then.
Not whether or not that the three systems of government that we have in place should still actually count or not.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it.
This ain't the week. Man, I was gonna talk about something else. Oh no, what we gonna do? The king likes Daniel more than
you.
Crap. Well.
We didn't actually talk about the fact that you can play as the cow. in
Yes.
the new Mario Kart.
That's definitely not what I was going to talk about, but like once it goes on sale.
Look, I already have the Switch on the registry for the wedding.
Fair enough.
The
but
bundle with the game, the Switch 2. And so like maybe somebody will buy it. If they don't, it's not a big deal.
Sell out. No.
Look, I'm not spending the money.
I want the cow. I like that's the only character I'll ever play on that game. They're adding so many new characters. I will be playing the cow the whole time. Thank you.
It's not even just like the internet obsessed with the cow. I think it's the fact that they thought about it and it was like, guys, what if we make the cow a playable character?
Yeah.
To me, that's why I want to do it. Because of like the fact that it was an idea, not like the idea itself.
Well, crap.
I just love it.
If we're both gonna play the cow, how are we gonna play the cow? One of us is gonna have to not play the cow.
Well, no, I'll just be the white and black one, and you be the black and white one.
Oh, there you go, man. That solves it. That
Gosh, you didn't even think, did you?
I never do, really.
All right, don't make me feel bad for pretending to be mean. I don't have anything else to talk about.
I know. I feel like I had so much, and then my brain just decided to not work.
I mean, we could do like a in memoriam of like Val Kilmer, who died this week.
He died this week?
Did you not see that he died?
No.
Yeah, Val Kilmer's dead.
Oh, damn.
He had throat cancer for a while.
Yeah, I knew that.
It just got up to him. R.I.P. Detective Dobson.
R.I.P. Mad Mortigan from the Willow movie.
R.I.P. Goose. No, he was the Iceman.
R.I.P. Batman.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. the oh man, he was like a Christian ninja. Crap, what was that movie? I don't even remember. Christian ninja is so derivative. There's that's not actually what it's called at all. Crapola.
R.I.P. Jim Morrison from the Doors movie.
All right, give me a second. R.I.P. The Saint. Oh my goodness. The Saint.
R.I.P. the Spartan.
I don't know anything else he's been in.
I'm looking at it right now. He was in MacGruber.
He was in Prince of Egypt.
He was in Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
as Moses.
How did I not know that?
R.I.P. Moses. Yeah, he was also God. That means the entire scene where Moses is talking to a burning bush, he was just talking to himself.
Aren't we all? He's also in Planes.
He was in Planes, but I never watched that. So,
R.I.P. Bravo.
I don't know any of this. Man, Val, I didn't know you were in any of this stuff.
He hosted Saturday Night Live once, it looks like, in 2000.
R.I.P. Billy the Kid.
They don't even have it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Was he in?
They don't have it. He played Kit on Knight Rider. The reboot.
R.I.P. Kit on the reboot of Knight Rider in 2008.
Do you know who played Kit in the original Knight Rider?
No, I don't.
It was Mr. Feeney.
No way. Feeney. That's
William Daniels.
I love that even more now.
He's still alive?
Of course he is. He'll never die.
He's 98.
Yep. 1927 is when he was born.
Goodness gracious.
That is so insane.
AJ was telling me this story. He was at the eye doctor this week, and he was sitting in the waiting room watching these old people try and find glasses, and they asked this one customer for their age. They said something 1932.
How?
I was like, no. How do you know?
You lived. Hold on. Okay, so y'all just missed the World War I, which happened in like 1914ish, right? So like by 20 years, They just barely missed World War One. Then they lived through the entirety of World War Two,
Right.
all the way up until now. Like we're talking, I think the Korean War was during that. I don't know what that was, and the Cold War and the Iraq and Afghanistan, like all that. They lived through all that.
The Korean War was in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So they lived through that. That's crazy.
Too much. I get like everyone wants to live as long as possible, get the most out of life and everything.
I don't.
I've seen enough.
Every time, so more immortality, right, is alluring to me. Only slightly, right? In the aspect of like at that point I could know everything, or I could learn everything, or I could do everything. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time. So like immortality in that aspect sounds kind of cool. However, I don't even want to live this long. And you're telling me I got to live forever? No, thank you. Because go ahead.
I'm too aware.
Yeah.
Like I think when you think about immortality, it's usually like a caveman that's been living for 10,000 years, for like Vandal Savage in the Immortal from comics, or like an old peasant has gained life and has continued to live. I know too much. Like I'm from the 21st century.
Right.
Like I understand gravity. Like I don't want to keep living.
I think a similarly kind of adjacent power that would be infinitely better is the ability to stop and start time at will, right?
Yeah.
Like the ability to just freeze time, and like it doesn't matter how long it's frozen, nothing bad is ever going to happen. You know, like it's just going to stay frozen until you unfreeze it, right? Like because like the theoretical possibilities of freezing time is that it only freezes in like your local area, so things still go on outside of the freeze bubble. But like I'm talking like if you snap your fingers, the entire universe freezes, like all the way to the infinity of expanseness. That is the universe, right? Expanseness? That's not a word.
The Expanse, that's that stupid show that I was thinking of earlier.
Oh, nice. So like that would be such a cool thing, because you could then pause time, and yeah, you'd still probably be aging, right? But you could then pause time, read all of the books in the universe, and have an infinite amount of knowledge and play time like nothing had ever happened. And now you are the smartest human being alive, right? Like that would be way better than immortality, because as you're learning in immortality, things are passing you by. You know what I mean? Like everything is still going on. And you are now catching up, you know? So it would take you millions of years to actually be able to be the smartest man alive or whatever like that. Maybe not millions of years, but you know what I'm saying? I think pausing time would be infinitely better. And every time somebody asks me if I want immortality, I tell them, you can suck on my big toe, because no, why would I want immortality? I barely want to live right now.
And that's like, do you want to live forever? What? So like, I can't travel through time. I have to just like go through it like a normal person. Like, no.
And then keep going through it like a normal person till the end of time.
And like, I think if I was able to restart, sort of, maybe.
Yeah, with the
like,
knowledge that I have.
Like, not as a baby, but maybe like 18.
Yeah.
Like, I restart with the knowledge I have. I don't have to like go through like something like that again. Or like, and it just like every 30, not 30. Every time I die, I just revert back to being 18 in that year. Like I become a new 18-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
Not like I guess I would have to take over somebody and kill somebody else for it to happen. You know, all powers have positives and negatives.
Yeah, they do. They do. This has been exhilarating.
I guess when it actually ends up with us just existentially wondering how to escape, it's probably time to end the episode.
Probably. We've gone too far.
We always do. Well, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You know, we got social medias. Just search the Garlic Boys. On TikTok, Instagram. Oh, TikTok was saved again. That was
It was
quiet
saved
this week.
again?
Oh yeah, he was just like, yeah, we're gonna push it back into their 75 days.
Or just maybe stop it. I don't know.
Yeah, but we still got TikTok, so you can find us there. Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever. Please head to our Patreon and support us. Literally as low as $3 a month. You can support us if you want some fun bonus content that we're actually going to start working on soon, and making we have plans.
Yay.
Like if you could see our Canva, you'd know what we got cooking. Maybe. But check that out. $10 a month, you can get that bonus content. Please head over to our merch store where we put up the designs that we make for y'all that we would hope you enjoy. Purchasing that will help us as well. And then watching our videos over on YouTube. Watch the video versions of the show. Help share those with your friends. I have a little bit of a shout out for somebody else, but also a little self-promotion.
Okay.
Friend of the show, Roger, has a podcast called the Rock and Roll for Initiative, where he and his friends have play D&D based on rock and roll characters. And recently he asked me to do some voices in the opening skit for episode 27 of their show.
Nice.
So if you want to go over and support them, you can also listen to me.
They have a
over
really good podcast going. I like stuff so much.
Yeah, garlic spotlight on them for sure. Did you have enough time to finish your Google search for a mom for your supplementary mom report?
I actually was going to start making a new sticker that says "Stop sniffing the petroleum jelly," the Vicks Vapo Rubs, but I'm afraid we'd get copyright. Or maybe I could just say "Stop sniffing the Vapo." You know what? I'll figure it out. I couldn't do it because Canva doesn't have petroleum jelly or Vapo Rub or anything as a sticker, so I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, supplementary mom. That's crazy because I don't even know what is a mom.
The cow. I'm gonna use the cow that you can now drive as in Mario Kart.
Well, I'll double up. You got the black and white one. I got the white and black one.
Exactly. There we go.
Yep.
Do you have a final thought for this week?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, as always, to
stay garlicky.
I don't think we can use Vapo Rub. Looking at the container here, there's a trademark on it. Trademark on Vapo itself.
That's not surprising. We might as well just stop trying to make money ever.
I'm not even going to prove to you that I'm holding a container because I'm still pleading the fifth that I'm even smelling this.
Dude, it's on camera. You just did it 2 seconds ago, and it's still on. You were on camera.
It's not on camera. I can assure you of that right now.
It is. You're just gonna delete it out of the video when you edit it.
Then you edit it.
No,